Okay, this is part 2 of butternut squash soup. I have deglazed the pot that had the sweet onions in it and added the Trader Joe's vegetable broth. It's a 32-ounce box, and I added 16 ounces of water to that. And now I'm going to start putting it into the blender container. Actually, I'm going to bring it over here because it's hard. I don't want it to spill. So I'm going to try to get some of the onions, some of the broth, and again, as in other recipes, I don't measure anything, so I just eyeball everything. And so I'm going to be adding soup and butternut squash as, you know, I see fit. Okay, so it's in the blender, and also, like I do with everything else, it's all an experiment. So I'm just gonna hit different blender speeds to see, you know, to get it good. So first I'm gonna do frozen drink. That works good. That looks really good. Oh my God, that looks so good. I'm gonna do that again. So we're gonna wanna put this into, I'm gonna be blending it in small batches, and then I'm gonna put it into a container to let it cool off and put in the fridge. So in order for you to see what's happening, let's just move things around on the stove because the burner where the soup was cooking is still hot. So let's just put this here. I think this is still in your view. I had to switch from landscape to portrait so you could see everything. So I know it's not, you know, preferred, but whatever. Okay, so let's see how this blended butternut squash soup first batch. That looks great. That looks so good. Okay. So we're gonna put some more butternut squash in here from our roasted butternut squash that we cooked whole at 450 degrees for 1 hour. We poked holes in it before we put it in the oven. We washed it off, scrubbed the skin, poked holes in it, and we baked it for an hour. And when it came out of the oven, we cut it in half. We scooped out the seeds, and we scooped out all the flesh from the skin. And you know, you can do it all at one sitting. I mean, I did it ahead of time because I didn't feel like making the soup, but I had time to roast the squash. So you can do this in a blender or a food processor, or you can do it in a magic bullet, but that's very small batches. So all right, frozen drink. Out of the way, put this here, open this up, and we will pour. Wow, that looks really good. Tastes delicious. The sweet onions give it that little extra sweetness that makes the soup so good. I am going to take a little bit of this out and do a little, I'm going to do a taste test. All right, let's see how it tastes. That's so good. It's so easy. You just roast the butternut squash, buy a box of the Trader Joe's vegetable broth, saute some sweet onions, stick it all in the blender. So easy. see what we got here. Let's get this blender in. Let's get these rest of the squash in. I guess I won't use my, let's get that off of the spoon. There we go. Alrighty, let's move this guy out of the way. And we will bring the soup back into the picture. The blender. Let's try to get the rest of the soup. Need to get some more of these onions. I'm gonna have to try to, this is gonna be messy. I bet you, I'm gonna try to pour this and I bet you it's gonna be a disaster. Let's see what happens. All right, that's good. I'll do the rest. I'm gonna have to pour some out. Let me just blend this. A lot more liquid in there, so it didn't need to be on as high of a speed. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna get the rest of the thing in here. I'm gonna have to temporarily use, because I'm gonna need to blend this all together, all the batches, because they're different thicknesses. So let me just do the rest of this soup that's here. Get all these onions, because we have a lot of onions. Let's see if we can get the rest of this in this blender without making a mess. That's not working. Oh, this is it. Okay. All right. Oh man, that wasn't good. I need a spoon. All right, here we go. Okay, that's the rest of the soup, so let's get that blended up. So I was just experimenting with different, speeds on there, so that's why I was making all that progress. All right, now I want to put it all back in here so that I can get all the different thicknesses blended together because, the first batch was a lot thicker, and then at the end I had soup left over, so I want to get it all combined together so that it can be really yummy. Just gonna get a spatula to get this stuff out of here. I made a huge batch of soup. Of course, you could make this in a smaller batch. You could do one butternut squash. All right, so now it's all done, and I'm gonna show you how delicious it is. Look at that. Let me show you in this with the ladle. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's so good. Oh, my goodness. All right. I hope you try it. If you have a blender or a food processor or a magic bullet, you can easily make homemade butternut squash soup. Enjoy.